Confusion and delay was buzzing around the station. The Fat Controller came out of his office to find trains and their engines unable to leave with the absence of the express. "What is going on?" he demanded. The yardman came up out of breath presently. "The coaches are blocked in the siding," he said. "A community group have barricaded the line with sleepers and chained themselves to the track." The Fat Controller called an inspector. "Get the trains on their way and guide the passengers onto the locals. Then contact Barrow to organise another train." While things were being sorted, the Fat Controller and another inspector went to the yard sidings with the yardman. The yardmen had laid detonators to keep trains away from the coach sidings where trespassers were out of control. The police were on hand but were soon waved down as the Fat Controller arrived and was approached by the group leader. "What is the trouble here, my fellow people?" he asked. The leader spoke. "We, the people of Sodor, are disgraced at the other railway's decision to standardise express travel. We are proud of our engines and our trains, and we will not stand by to see them go." "So what is your demand?" asked the Fat Controller. "We will not let express trains run until you bring back our express train," the leader replied. The Fat Controller mopped his head. "It isn't in my hands to run the train without authority, but I can use my power to fight for your wishes. I do confess I was unhappy with the decision myself, and now I'm more sure than ever that Sodor wants their express back." "So what are you going to do?" "Henry's train will take express passengers to Barrow. As for getting to London, they will have to improvise if we want to pressure the other railway." He turned to the inspector. "Whatever happens, this train doesn't move." The inspector nodded and passed on the orders to the yard manager. The following day, the Fat Controller boarded Henry's train and set off towards Barrow-in-Furness. Once there, he boarded a train to London on a standard class ticket. He got the attention of passengers who wanted to know why he wasn't in the first-class coaches. "In the interest of my railway, I will not use first-class travel on British rail travel for the principles of disgraceful cutbacks that have taken place." This stirred up a fuss. The passengers started to refuse to pay first-class prices themselves, and the media spread the story, and BR staff were getting sick of it. In London, the Fat Controller set about protesting the negotiations on Sodor's rail travel. As arguments rose and there was pressure. Meanwhile, on Sodor, Gordon was hard at work on Bear's and James's goods trains. He shunted and took them along their routes. At first they wanted to play tricks and tease him, but a day at Walesworth saw Edward help sort that out. They told them how trucks were also being replaced with automatic brakes that served no further purpose for brake vans. They soon saw or heard this to be true, as some of them started witnessing it, and word spread amongst them to behave and prove that the ways things are on Sodor are the best way things will ever work. In fact, Sodor did start to look better. Chaos realmed over Britain as passengers got cranky about rail travel, and soon it became difficult to balance finances on BR staff pay. The unions threatened strike and started to favour the uproar. Most of all, negotiations were inevitable and had to take place. Another review took place and other means were discussed to improve fare rates and travel equality. As for the Sodor Express, an agreement was set after a lot of aggravation. The original coaches could be pulled as far as Barrow-in-Furness. From there, Pip and Emma, the high-speed trains, would take the express load on as the special BR service for Sodor to London. It was satisfactory, but one thing remained: Gordon's investigation. Bear had a plan. He was to take the BR coaches back to Barrow-in-Furness to be reassigned, and he wanted them to do to him what they had did to Gordon. Having spoken to the Fat Controller, Diesel was borrowed to help Bear. He purred up to him the day before Bear was due to take them back. I've been told that you require my assistance, he ordered. You had Duck sent away once, I heard, said Bear. Yes, but that was a long time ago. It isn't easy being a shunter that barely does anything else but shunt trucks that love tricks, growled Diesel. I see. Well, maybe you'll enjoy this. I need you to make some coaches cause me trouble, replied Bear. Diesel stared. You mean tell them lies? Bear winked. Let's just say there'll be a few home truths from me and yours truly. Diesel smirked. He wanted a chance to redeem himself, and to do so in his own way would be great. He went off around the yard and started shunting some trucks. The trucks were getting bored. They hadn't had fun for some time, and no one had told them that things had calmed down. This was perfect for Diesel. I hear you've been good recently, he said. It's getting boring, but we don't want to be scrapped either. Oh, what we wouldn't do for a bit of fun, wailed the trucks. Then maybe you'd like to hear about... Oh no, I couldn't tell you that. Tell us what? Well, you'd never keep it a secret, Diesel taunted. We can, shouted the trucks. Promise? Yes, yes! Okay, you know the coaches everyone hates? Who doesn't? Retorted the trucks. Well, Bear told me the best use for those things would be beach huts on Whitby Bay. The trucks sniggered amongst each other as Diesel left. Oh, by the way, he said, the strike has been over for a week. This lit the trucks up all at once, and the gossip spread. Soon an echo reached the coach sidings, and even the old coaches found it funny. This made the BR coaches mad. "First Gordon, and now this joker. I'll be glad to see the back of him," said the A coach. B, C and D agreed, but E, F, G and H were agreed that they had gone too far and must come clean. But it was easier said than done. The first four were adamant to show up Bear that they were not about to let Gordon off the hook. They would do the same with Bear and show Sodor that they were the future of rail travel. They went home casually as they had done on trips with Bear before, but little did A, B, C and D know that their sisters were going to alter the plan. As Bear gathered speed for Gordon's Hill before Whalesworth, E, F, G and H braked, taking their sisters by surprise. They in response began to push, with Bear causing confusion for him. Edward saw what was going on, and just as they reached this junction, a brake shattered the coupling between D and E, causing Bear to take off. Edward soon arrived to take them to a siding at his station. On the way they confessed about their ordeal with Gordon and told him how Bear was in trouble. This was all they needed, and the station master told the Fat Controller right away. Meanwhile, Bear was struggling with the coaches on the hill, but was in realization about the absence of 4 coaches, which was why he was trying to brake the train to a stop. "If we can't push him over, then we'll pull him down," they said. They let Bear slow them down. Then, as they began to back down, they went for it. "Oh no," wailed Bear. "They've done it again." "Now, Bear," shouted his driver. "We prepared for this, and we can still do it, so let's go." "Right," growled Bear. And he roared into action. He eased his brakes on, and as he levelled out, he fought to slow them down. Straight through Edward Station at speed, and then Crosby they went, until at last, when Elsbridge came into view, they began to slow down. But at the last moment the coupling broke and the coaches derailed, leaving Bear the only one on the rails. Edward soon came with the breakdown train, and on board was the Fat. "Well done, Bear," he said. "You've done extremely well to avoid a nasty accident. The other coaches confessed the truth about Gordon, and we can now act on some solid facts. First, though, let's tidy the mess up and get this railway running again." Over the next week, the investigation proceeded, and Gordon was found innocent and could pull his train once more. The Fat Controller thanked Diesel for his input, and the shunter was sent back to the other railway. Coaches E, F, G and H pleaded with Bear for a second chance, and with some consideration he asked the Fat Controller if they could serve as extra coaches on his busy trains. BR decided to sell them for the scrap value plus a little extra, and after a while he had them refitted and repainted after they proved they're trustworthy. It took time, but they earned other engines' trust, and other coaches soon accepted them when they were willing to learn from them. As for A, B, C and D, they weren't quite on Whitby Bay, but they did end up on Knapford Beach. There they sent a message about coaches that messed up with their trains. Unlike trucks, a coach's purpose was really serious. Once again, Gordon flies along the line with his beloved Dears, the Sodor Express. Bear is back to his usual duties, though the passenger service that Henry ran needed another engine. And Diesel? Well, he hadn't gone home happily. In fact, something was on his mind. He hadn't said anything about what lay ahead for him, but that's another story.